Hey everyone, in this video we're looking at the quadratic and the vertex, including the maximum and the minimum. So believe it or not, there's an entire world of graphs that look like hills or frowns or smiles. This looks more like a frown right here, and this more like a smile. And they're called quadratics, so let's get a closer look. The standard form is f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. But don't be intimidated. All that means is that if you put this in your calculator or in Desmos.com, you'll get a graph that looks like this. Now, a cannot be 0 because anything times 0 is 0. So if there's no x squared, you don't get this shape right here. You don't get this cup smiling type shape. So the a is actually really important. If a is positive, the graph opens up. It's smiling. So if you look back on this page, these must have an a that's positive because if it's positive, it's going to be smiling up like this. Likewise, if a is negative, the graph opens down. It's frowning. So we see on this page the downward ones, the frowning ones, they have an a that's negative. And another way we can write this is if a is greater than 0, the graph opens up because anything greater than 0 is positive. In the same way, we can say if a is negative, a is less than 0 because anything less than 0 is negative. Now, we have this example right here, and it's actually our parent function for all quadratics. And our parent function is like the function without any vertical shifts or horizontal changes. So here's the parent formula for the quadratic f of x equals x squared. And if we were to have a table right here, when we have 1, if you put that in your calculator, you'll see that 1 squared is 1. So 1, 1. The same thing goes for negative 1. So if we have negative 1 squared, it's going to be positive 1. So we have negative 1, 1. If we have 2, 2 squared is 4. So we have 2, 4. And negative 2 gives us positive 4. So, like I said, we can use Desmos or our graphing calculators to find the table, but we're not focusing on that just yet. For now, let's look at the vertex. We can find the vertex, and the vertex is like the highest point or the lowest point. So if we go back here, our vertex for this graph would be right up here. It would be a maximum because it's the highest point, and everything after this is going down. Here, if the a is positive, if our graph is going up, then that vertex is the lowest point because anything after that point is positive, it's going up. Or not just positive, but it's just going up. So for this first example, let's do it together. We're going to find the vertex and state if it is a maximum or a minimum. So to find it, you just look at, for this case, a is positive, a is greater than 0, and the lowest point is 0, 0. So that means our vertex is 0, 0. So now we have to state if it's a maximum or minimum. Remember, if our a is positive, the graph only gets bigger from there. So that means the vertex is the lowest point or the minimum when a is positive. So we have a minimum. Okay? Try this example on your own. Okay, so to find our vertex, first let's figure out if our a is positive or negative. Our a is positive, why? Because it is going up. The lowest point is going to be our vertex because anything after this point right here, it's just going up. So if we look at it, we'll see that the vertex is 3, 4. So vertex 3, 4. Since A is positive and anything beyond that point is just going up, it's a minimum. So minimum. So try this problem on your own. Alright, so we know that the A is negative for this graph because anything beyond the highest point, it just gets lower and lower on this graph. So we know the graph has a maximum, and let's find what that maximum is. Let's find what that vertex is. It's -1, -1. The vertex, -1, -1. Okay. And we already know that this vertex here is the highest point. So anything beyond this point on this graph is just lower than this point. So it's going to be a maximum. Okay? Try this one too. Alright, so is this the top of the mountain or the bottom of a valley? The top of a mountain. So let's find what the coordinates are first. We have -1, -2, -3, -4, 1. Okay? Vertex, -4, 1. And is this the highest point or not? Yes, it is, because anything beyond this point is just lower and lower. So this point here is the vertex, it's the maximum. Okay, I hope this video was helpful for you, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask your teacher or ask in the comments below. Have a good day.